And a very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Issues and Attitudes on this Monday. My name is Jeff Owens, WEIU General Manager. My co-host, Michelle Bravo.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. And our guest today, Jennifer Tariq from the Douglas-Hart Nature Center is back. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thanks for having me.
Well, glad you came in today. I guess we'll start off with the unfortunate news. You had some water damage over the winter. And talk about what happened and kind of where you're at out there.
Yes, some is an understatement, like a lot of damage. Yes, it happened Christmas night, and yeah, I know. Luckily, we had a patron walking the trail the next day, and they called one of our staff members and said, hey, there's water running out your front door. And so they call me. I call my buildings guy. I said, meet me out there. There's evidently water running out the front door. So we get over there, water out the front door, water out the back door, and waterfalls in the middle of the building. So there's a lot of water. So I thought, this is great. This is Merry Christmas to me. Happy New Year. So nothing like a big disaster your second year as executive director to deal with a catastrophe at the building. But it's just items. No one was hurt. Dexter was okay, the house cat. He was crying for help, but he was fine. So it's been quite the process of a lot of people, a lot of businesses' houses were damaged that weekend with water pipes bursting. We had 7 breaks in our water pipes. So
wow.
Our bathrooms, kitchen, staff office, closets. I am thankful it wasn't the educational side of the nature center, so where our exhibit animals are, our class resources, classrooms, all of that's fine. Just bathrooms back to the back end. So the bathrooms, we hope, will be done here in 2 weeks. It just, a lot of people, like I said, businesses, houses, contractors are swamped and busy, but Miller Construction has been fabulous getting us back up and running. So
when do you think the inside of the nature center will be fully operational?
Fully operational, I don't know. Bathrooms 2 weeks good, but right now all the staff are crammed into the library. That's our temporary office, nice and cozy. Good thing we like each other.
There you go. Now, Dexter the cat has been, I guess, kind of famous. I'm not aware of this, so yeah. Give me the background of Dexter. I had one of our staff members today say, hey, you got to ask Jennifer about Dexter. So tell us about this cat who survived this catastrophe, by the way.
He did survive. He was up on a desk, and he is temporarily relocated to our maintenance building. It's heated out there. He's just fine, I promise you. But we've always had a resident cat out at the Nature Center, and we do rescue kitties. So we try to rescue a cat that's in need. Dexter actually has feline AIDS, so he can't be around other cats, but he can be around other animals and people. And we've had him he's on year 3 that we've had him. So he's big, black and white kitty.
That's a cat, not a kitty.
Yeah, he is a cat, yes. And thankfully for Clyde's clinic there, he's in a angel care program. So they actually pay for his food and all of his medical bills because since he is kind of a feline AIDS kitty, they kind of help with all of his needs, which is great. So, but people do come, especially. Forget about the staff and they come to see Dexter. Yes,
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I know you have the 3 main parts, so why don't we'll start with the Nature Center, what's kind of going on this spring, and then we'll get into your 2 subparts.
Yeah. So of course, the Nature Center is the mom, right?
Yeah.
That's what we call it. Everybody knows the Nature Center. Again, we plan to be open for spring field trips. We'll have hundreds of kids out for our spring field trips from like the 9 surrounding counties. So very busy spring season, and then we roll right into summer camps, which that registration opens next week for members. So everybody's calling, when's the summer camp registration coming out? April 3rd for members, and then it'll be later in April for non-members. So even if you're not a member, I would definitely consider becoming a member. There's lots of great perks with that. So
Michelle?
What are the fees for the memberships?
Yeah, so they start at only $25, and that's for your whole household. And we have higher levels with different perks, but some of the basic perks are that early registration for summer camps. We have free before and after care for summer camps for members, discounts on programs and summer camps. That's what all levels of memberships get. Higher levels, you can get free plants at our Earth Day sale, so native plants, and a lot of people really enjoy that perk as well.
When you talk about summer camps, for people who don't know, what types of camps and how many different ones are there?
So we mostly offer week-long camps, and it's AM or PM, but we do have some one-day camps that run Memorial Day week and 4th of July week. And you're going to expect very high-quality camps. 50% of their time is spent outdoors, and I think a lot of parents appreciate that they're not being cooped up indoors. They're off their electronics. We're out playing games. We're walking the trails, recreation. We do come inside. We do, maybe experiments, crafts indoors. Parents can have their kids stay all day if they want. We'll watch them during the lunch hour. It just depends what works for the parents' work schedule, but sometimes just a half a day is great for some kids. Otherwise, we have full day options as well. Yeah.
I like the fact that you said that about kids getting outside, because right now kids are kind of attached to those phones and electronics and screen time, as they say. Then I guess your other children then are the Whiteside Gardens and the Friendship Gardens in Mattoon. Yeah. So start Mattoon with Friendship Garden and what people can expect and see there.
Friendship Garden, a lot of people enjoy their lunch there. So it's kind of this little pocket park near downtown. We don't have facilities there, so it's just the garden itself. So again, they just like to sit, read a book, lunch hour. We actually offer several weddings there. People have weddings
every
there.
Prom and homecoming picture in Mattoon is there.
That is the hot spot. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so we do offer some programs there. We do have some volunteer days. We do planting days. But every Wednesday during the summer, we have what we call Lunch and Learn. So we'll have food trucks there. So La Luna Food Truck will be there, and our land steward director, Hannah, will be there to answer any maybe gardening or horticulture questions you have.
Interesting. And then the Whiteside Gardens here in kind of more associated with Charleston, and it's really cool. And I think people don't really understand and even believe it when they see it. Can you explain what Whiteside Gardens is?
It is definitely, you have to see it to believe it. It's like the secret garden. So this one comes with a little bit of history that I think is important to acknowledge. Is the former residence of Dr. Whiteside, who was a EIU professor, botany professor, and he left it to EIU, and he wanted it to be used by students of Eastern to study for research. And Eastern approached us and said, you already manage 2 facilities of similar nature. Would you be interested in taking on a third? And so after some discussion, we now own Whiteside Garden, but in collaboration with Eastern. So Eastern professors, students do come out and do research. We do programs, but it is our property, so we can offer our own festivals and programs. We turned the house into a welcome center. So it does have limited hours, but you can walk outside the trails anytime, sunrise to sunset, any day of the year. There's a gift shop in there, ADA restroom now. There's a little exhibit area in there as well as a meeting space. So we've had some people rent out that meeting space for business meeting. We've had a quilters group rent out the sunroom, and they just quilt all day, surrounded by nature.
Now.
You do?
Yeah, we had a quilter in here.
Awesome. Yeah, it's probably one of the quilters out at they have their special little group in the area. So, but it is just thousands upon thousands of unique and diverse plants from all around the world. So some of them are rare and endangered. He has the Franklinia tree, and it only grows along the Altamont River. And he has a couple growing there at his garden. The hardy rubber tree, extinct in the wild. There's one at the garden. But magnolias, hostas, he's known for daylilies. He cultivated his own breeds of daylilies. So there's 14, I believe, registered. And we discovered a few more that he cultivated that were not registered. So we're working on that right now. We're also working on, we're going to become certified as a botanical garden and arboretum, which is huge. Yeah, very exciting. So
when you think how many different countries are represented out there, do you have any idea on that?
I have no idea. We have the regions, but no idea.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Anything on your mind over there?
Yeah. So where is this place? Like,
I was hoping so. Yeah.
Yeah, great. We're a mile east of Walmart. So if you're heading out of town, yes, it's just the first road.
In Charleston or what?
In Charleston,
okay, so
yeah.
The one over here.
Yeah. And you asked about the regions and where the plants are coming from. So to be certified, one of the things that we had to do was label at least 500 plants out there. Now we have way more than 500, but I only have one staff member out there. So this is a huge undertaking for this horticulture.
Yeah, it's just like 10 a day for 50 days, right?
Sure. You know. She's probably rolling her eyes at you right now.
I apologize. I'm not going to help. No.
You know, all the weeding and other stuff she has to do too. But we created this database that people can actually search. If you go to Plants Map, you can look up the Whiteside Garden. We have GPS locations of all these unique plants. It even has Dr. Whiteside's like history, like how did he obtain the plant? What was his kind of tips about this plant? But it also has the region, like where it originally grew or where we got it from. So we do have that, but...
Are you going to continue to grow that and try to find other and new species of plants to bring to Charleston at some point?
Yes. Yeah. We have, each year we put up a plant wish list. So one of the projects for this year is creating a dwarf conifer garden. So that will kind of be the new kind of garden that we're working on with different plants. So some of them may be repeats that are already in the garden or new additions to the garden.
Now,
so
what do you, in the wish list, people can just say, hey, I wish you had a blue orchid or whatever it's going to be, and then someone, you guys go purchase it, or do you have like your members bring it, or how does that work?
So our horticulturist comes up with the list, like what areas she's going to work on. We publish the plants that we need, so people can either purchase it for us, they can donate money towards it, or sometimes they may actually have it at their house or garden, and they'll transplant it and give it to us. So, yeah.
The one plant that you said is it's extinct right now in the wild, but it's available to view here in Charleston in the exhibit. I mean, is that an oddity, or is that something? I mean, because that's kind of cool, but it also scares me that are there other places this plant's available, or is
you can? So they were able to secure seeds from some of these extinct plants, so you can order them from catalogs. So they are obtainable. For a price, of course. But you just can't find them growing in the wild anymore just because of habitat loss and other, conservation loss. Yeah.
Interesting. I did not know some of this stuff. I always like to learn something. I feel like I'm better that way. As the executive director of this and the three places, what are your main duties in terms of like day-to-day stuff?
Well, right now, contractors. That's always fun. Mostly my job is to oversee the foundation as a whole, right? What is our strategic plan? What's our mission? What are we trying to do for the community and its people? So not only my patrons, but the staff, right? I'm responsible for the people and the properties. So main duties. I also write a lot of grants, I should add. Lots and lots of grants. Right now I'm working on 3 that all have probably a 2-3 week deadline right now. So it just depends on the day. Got a board meeting this week. That's always exciting. So it's our budget season, right? Making sure our assets are in good standing. So that's kind of my day-to-day.
Okay, interesting. What do you think is the toughest part? Is the toughest part the grant writing, or is it something else?
I am a nerd. I enjoy grant writing. I have a talent for it. Pretty good track record of writing grants. But is it that glamorous? No. I have to be in the right frame of mind. So sometimes the hardest, I would say, is just the budget. Like making sure everything comes the way it should match up. And right now, with all the projects we have on, the budget's not going to match this year. Yeah.
Oh, unexpected expenses are the worst. I want to go back to the grant writing again, because I'm going to ask a question. Like, so these grants, do they repeat every year or 2 years? My reason I ask is we have some of those at WEIU, and it's hard for me to say the same thing in different words, but do you feel you have to change it up a little bit? Can you use some of the same language and some of the same verbiage, for lack of a better way to say it?
So I've actually held a couple grant workshops for other nonprofits, and my tip to them is to copy and paste and not feel like you have to change it up. I mean, you can change it up, but a lot of the answers are repeat, right?
I want to know if it's a similar problem or issue, or
It is. Okay. It's the same. We use a lot of the same language and answers, and why change it up when this is the answer. I'm
copying and pasting next year.
Okay.
Michelle?
So you mentioned that students and EIU professors and things like that, they go to one of the locations. Do you guys offer internships for students?
We do offer internships, and we are looking for internships right now. So any semester you can apply to be an intern, and don't just think you're limited to just conservation or maybe education. We have writing interns, so EIU supplies a grant intern usually once a year to us, or they'll do research for us, focus groups. I have a political science intern this summer probably for us. She just wants to learn the nonprofit side of things, admin, so kind of what my day-to-day looks like. So internships any semester. We do offer paid internships during the summer because that's when we're rocking and rolling, right? That's when we need the most help. So we do offer 2 horticulture internships out at the Whiteside Garden. And so we have the spring one, but also the summer. And those are paid positions. And then at the Nature Center, we have conservation internships. And most of the time, they're environmental biology majors. They don't have to be. They just have an interest. Maybe they want to be a park ranger. As long as they have an interest in conservation, but you are outdoors probably 90% of the day, right? Removing invasives, trail maintenance, amenities, mulching, weeding, all that good stuff. And while we don't have a educational internship, we do hire 8 summer camp educators. So it's not an internship, but it's great for maybe even biology majors or education majors.
Get some more experience. The bullet points on the resume, as we say.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, the COVID is supposed to officially be done in May, so I assume then for the summer the plans are at Douglas-Hart, just no restrictions, everything is good to go?
Yeah, we don't foresee any restrictions, and again, with most of our camps 50% being outdoors, that's the place to be anyway, so don't foresee any problems there.
If people want to walk into the Nature Center's trails and stuff, what can animals and birds, can you talk about some of the things they probably will see?
Absolutely. So again, you can walk our trails sunrise, sunset, any day of the year, and depending how loud or quiet you are determines what you might see out there. We have fox, raccoon, possums, all sorts of birds. Our bird list has over 175 species on it. Depending on the year, migratory season, it's higher. You head down to the pond, you're going to see herons and turtles and snakes and fish. We have all sorts of wildlife in just this little nook of the Nature Center, and that is its purpose. That is our purpose of conservation efforts, is to create this habitat for wildlife when it's surrounded by Mattoon, Charleston communities where we've had habitat loss. One of the interesting things we did last year is we conducted a bat study. And that was with Illinois Natural History Survey. And so we had 9 of the 13 bats at both properties, Douglas-Hart Nature Center and the Whiteside Garden. Douglas-Hart hit 2 endangered species, and Whiteside had 2 as well. So we're doing more data, but that's just really exciting to show we are creating the right habitat for this wildlife, especially, if they're endangered or threatened.
Do you give some of the animals out there like pet names if you see a squirrel a lot or a raccoon? And are there interactions between, the staff and these animals?
We try not to interact with them. It's a teachable moment in the sense that, we're not a zoo. This is their home. They're wild and free. There's no fences. They can roam around. Now, we do have the indoor exhibit animals that maybe have nicknames, and we use them for educational purposes. But outdoors, no, we give them space. We do have 3 resident does that we know are on site, and new last year we have a turkey. This turkey, she is right up at the bird window every single day. So she seems tame, but she is definitely wild. But people feel like they can nickname her. She feels like a pet because she's there every single day. Yeah.
Interesting. I'm an animal lover, so I had to ask that kind of stuff. How many different classes and area schools do you work with on an average year? And give us some examples of some of the things they may do and come out to see.
Yeah, field trips are again huge for us. Again, 9 surrounding counties with over 100 different classes that are coming out. We're really big with elementary, so K2 are probably the most popular classes that come out there. The popular one is Wade into Wetlands. This is a field trip where we teach them about food chains. We head down to the pond and wetland, and they get dipping nets, and they're scooping in the water, and they look for like macroinvertebrates, right? The little insects that live in the water. And they're able to tell if our water is of poor quality, high quality, or so-so. It's so-so, but that's okay. We still have good things living in there. It's not high quality, but they're able to determine the quality based on what they're finding in there, and that relates to the food chain. So we talk about what if these insects weren't in the water? What would happen to the fish, the frogs, the turtles, the herons, those bigger things that we see? And we talk about, again, water quality. What's happening to our water that it's, so-so quality? And they realize that it's us, it's people. We're the ones that are doing it, putting the chemicals and things into even the ground. Soil erosion, it flows through the wetlands and the water. And it is people that's doing it. So the kids really walk away with that saying, water is a very important resource. And so there's always fun hands-on activities with field trips. But what is that takeaway message, right? That environmental message that nature is for everyone and important.
Is there a chance that this water damage that happened over on Christmas night will affect maybe the water quality to either good or bad when they do the studies this summer? Because that's a lot of water they got out.
That is a lot of water. So not specifically from this project, but we have raised beds in front of the Nature Center that are now collapsing. So it's another project on our list. We have to remove these raised beds because they are causing unnecessary flooding, and the flood is moving where we don't want it to move. So we need to get it to the stormwater wetland. And the point of that near our parking lot is it will filter some of those chemicals. So stormwater wetlands, think about like the oil that drips from your car and exhaust. It goes through the stormwater with these plants that will help take those chemicals out of the water. Then it runs off to the wetland. Well, this project, the water's pooling and it's not going where we want it. It's not going through that stormwater wetland. So there are some cause and effects happening. Yes.
Man, that's too bad. Michelle? That's okay. I just want to make you had the look on your face that you might have something. Is there anything you would love, like the budget's not a question, you'd love to add some exhibits, some plants, something out there? I mean, I know we had the wish list on the plants, but is there another wish list for you?
So my dream and goal was not just something, it was an entirely new nature center as an executive director. I've been with the organization 15 years, 2 as an executive director. Prior to that, I was the education director. We are at capacity in so many ways, and that's a great problem to have. So everybody that utilizes us, our festivals, our parking lot is full. Our camp classrooms full. We have to turn away schools because we don't have enough days and education help or classrooms to run field trips. Great problems to have. So expansion was my goal. Then the building flooded, so that took us a little step back. We want to make sure we fix and repair our existing building and maybe still plan for the future. This new building would be more sustainable, right? So we put in solar panels a few years ago. We're making these steps to be more sustainable as an organization. So looking into geothermal, more solar panels, upcycled materials for this new nature center. So still a dream, still a goal, still on the list. It just might be down the road.
Because you really have to fix the original. Now, will you be able to expand onto that, or would it be completely new other than? I mean,
yeah, sometimes you can retrofit and expand. So we did look into that at one time, adding north of the building and putting in some new classrooms there. But there are some great grants out there to build just a sustainable building. So it might even be a whole new building.
since money is always the big word and everything, is insurance going to take care of a lot of the flooding damage? So you're not out, like you said, when you're doing the budget, you're not out unexpected too much money. I know there's always other expenses that add on, but
there is. Insurance will cover most of the expenses. Some of the property items that was damaged, you only get depreciated value. So like my office was completely gone. I lost my desk, my bookshelves, everything. So that's a lot of rebuying. And again, insurance will cover most of it. But what happened is we discovered this raised bed issue that was causing flooding in a separate issue. And as we lost the ceiling tiles, well, we could see daylight through the roof. And now
that's bad, right?
That's bad, yeah. And not just one spot, two spots. So now we have a new roof coming our way as well. So we just got hit pretty hard this year with projects. So again, insurance will cover the water, but now we have these unexpected projects, just maintenance issues that we just have to address. So,
do you set goals for like the center for like in the summer you want 14,000 kids to walk through? Do you do that? How do you track it as well?
We do set goals, and that's really where the budget comes into play. We sit down on what we've been averaging, a number of field trips, number of programs. I set grant goals, donation goals, membership goals. We track all of that. We have a great, it's a CRM system where you can register for programs. So everybody registers. We can go back 2 years from now and see how many kids we had in a summer, how many participants in this program. We have all that data at our fingertips now.
We're talking to Jennifer Tariq. We had a couple minutes left today talking about the Douglas-Hart Nature Center. Anything that we forgot to ask you that you knew you wanted to get out about what's going on out there?
I want to mention Earth Day is coming up. And so, yes, a lot of people are excited about that because that is when our native plant sale is, and that is a fundraiser for us. And it's actually going to be on Earth Day this year, April 22nd from 9 to 12. So you can come out and shop the plant sale. We have lots of booths, so a lot of community booths will be out there, and you can do activities there. Or you can volunteer or learn about volunteering. And that's what we haven't really talked about is all my awesome volunteers that I have. We have about 250, 300 volunteers.
Wow,
that many. That log at least 10 hours each year. And we had about over 4,000 hours logged last year from volunteers. So they are a great asset to our organization.
This is game to me, but when you talk about the water damage on Christmas night, what would have happened if that person wouldn't have been walking that day? I mean, could it have been, obviously it could have been a lot worse, but if the person, Christmas night is not a big walking night. It could have been a couple of days, correct?
Yeah, since Christmas, I think it was on a Sunday, we used Monday as a holiday, so we wouldn't have been back until Tuesday, so it would have ran a whole other, 24, 48 hours before anybody would have caught it. So I do appreciate that patron for calling me. And, this was going to be the first year I was going to take the week of Christmas and New Year's off because normally...
You felt you had things going and everything.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm going to take a vacation this week. I'm going to spend it with my family. It's going to be great. No. That's how life is.
There you go. Real quick, somebody wants the best way to get a hold of you or anybody at the Douglas-Hart Nature Center to do a tour, an internship, to be a volunteer, best way?
Best way is hit our website. Everything is up there, dhnature.org.
All right. Hey, it was great to see you again. I appreciate you coming in and talking about the Douglas-Hart Nature Center and everything that's going on. Hated to hear about the flood, but good things will come, it looks like, and you're on your way, and hopefully everything will be open by sometime later this summer. In a couple weeks, bathrooms, and then spring is here. So thanks so much, Jennifer, and have a great day, and we appreciate you coming in on this Monday. Michelle, thank you as well. Everybody have a great day. We are WEIU.